Chris, the Obama administration has provided guidance to school districts across the country saying that transgender students should be allowed to use the bathrooms of their choice. I can tell you that a lot of parents in Georgia aren't ready for this.
No, this is going to be a big political issue and a big stink. Of course, we saw it in North Carolina, and the Obama administration, the federal government, and the state of North Carolina are now going to be in federal court over it. My guess is you're going to see lawsuits all across the country. On the one hand, you've got the Obama administration saying that everybody has to be protected and feel safe, including transgender people, and if they identify as a woman, they need to go and be allowed to go into the woman's bathroom. But on the other hand, again, we're talking about public schools here, even, I suppose, into elementary school, and you could see where a lot of parents and a lot of kids would find this troubling.
Well, is this national guidance prompted by the North Carolina fight? Because if there's been an explosion of people listed as boys on their birth certificate going into women's room, I haven't heard about it.
No, I think that it's just something that had kind of bubbled up around the country, and the reason that it started in North Carolina is because of the fact that North Carolina passed a law mandating that you have to go into the bathroom of that matches your birth certificate, the gender on your birth certificate. So they kind of fired the first shot in this regard, but apparently this was something that the Obama administration had been working on, we're told, for 6 weeks. And so, North Carolina sort of jumped the gun, but that's where they wanted to go anyway, is to set this course. And apparently, while there's not an explosion of it, there are some problems around the country. I don't know that they're enormous, but a lot of school districts have been saying they didn't know how they were going to handle it, and to a certain degree they were asking the federal government for guidance. I'm not sure, as you say, all the parents and children are going to want the guidance that they've been given.
All right, let's turn to presidential politics. Paul Ryan met with Donald Trump on Capitol Hill. They both agree that the GOP should unify and that Hillary Clinton should not be president. So does it really matter whether Ryan explicitly endorses Trump?
Well, yeah, look, he's going to be the chairman of the convention, it seems almost certain. He is the top elected Republican in the country at this point. And it's going to be a big issue until or unless he declares he's either supporting Trump or he's not supporting Trump. I think it's very much in the interests of both of them and frankly of the party as well, that they work this out. Doesn't mean they have to be on the same page on every issue, but they got to be in the same book, if you will. And Trump can't win the presidency unless he has a relatively united party behind him. And I'm not sure that the party is going to do very well. For instance, all the 250 House Republicans seeking re-election, a few might do fine, but I think a lot of them would be a problem if they are seen as running away from the nominee of the party who's gotten over 10 million votes. So my guess is they're going to work something out. They won't be eye to eye on every issue, but they will say that what joins them is much bigger than what divides them, and also that it'd be better to have Donald Trump than to have Hillary Clinton as president.
Right. I see you have Georgia's Newt Gingrich on Fox News Sunday this weekend. What role do you see him playing in a Trump campaign and possibly a Trump administration?
Well, he's certainly going to be a leading spokesman, a leading surrogate for Trump, and maybe more. There is some talk, I don't know how serious it is, about Newt Gingrich as a possible running mate with Donald Trump. He has said, Trump has, that he wants somebody who's an experienced Washington hand, who knows how to make legislation get through Congress and become law. Newt Gingrich certainly knows how to do that, and he's an enthusiastic supporter of Trump. In fact, we're going to have a debate on Sunday between Newt Gingrich and a conservative Republican congressman from Kansas, Tim Huelskamp, who is very much not a Trump supporter and in fact says he won't let his kid, his 9-year-old son, watch Trump on TV because he doesn't know what's going to come out of Trump's mouth. So I think in this debate you'll see the continuing split, regardless of what happens among the leaders, the continuing split inside the Republican Party about Donald Trump.
Finally, Chris, on the Democratic side, Bernie Sanders continues to win states, West Virginia this week, and there's been some conversation about him perhaps toning it down with respect to Hillary Clinton, but he said it would be a disaster if she became the nominee. What do you make of all that?
Well, it's interesting. There has been talk about him toning it down, but he clearly doesn't want to tone it down, and he continues to go after her, continues to hit her for not releasing the transcripts of those speeches, to say that he'd be a much stronger candidate against Trump than she would, and according to the polls right now, he would. This is a delicate situation for Clinton because on the one hand, she obviously would love to get him out of the race. It's not going to help her aura of strength if she keeps getting beat by Bernie Sanders in a variety of states. On the other hand, she doesn't want to push him out or do anything that's seen as pushing him out because she doesn't want to alienate the millions of people who have voted for Sanders. And you got to remember, back in 2008, she stayed in through the last primary, even though it looked like Obama had it wrapped up. And Obama was very gentle, let her take her time, and finally she stepped aside. I'm not sure that Sanders will step aside. I think he might go to the convention, not that he'll win there, but I think he's going to want to do everything he can because he feels he's a movement politician. He's clearly not going to be running again. He's already 74 years old, and I think he's going to do everything he can to change the platform and to shape the direction of the Democratic Party going forward.
All right, Chris, thanks. We'll be watching Fox News Sunday this weekend.